So I raced ahead without you. So I traced over the cosine graph. Again, there's two periods drawn on the cosine curve, and I actually color-coded them so that you could see what they look like when I draw the inverse. And remember, I can either write it as arc cosine or cosine to the -1. Here's a tip you need to remember. I would write this at the top of your paper. Hint, note, special comment, note to self that sine inverse is equal to, ooh, I'm going to take a little ride, whee, is equal to arc sine of x, but it is definitely not equal to 1 over sine. Doesn't mean the same thing when I put the -1 power with the trig values. So, good thing to remember. And remember on cosine, when we looked at the principal values for cosine, aka capital cosine, we looked from 0 to pi. And that gave us the whole set of values. Again, it gave us the positive values, and then it gave us the negative values. So over on this other curve, I would be looking at this section of the graph. So now my range is from 0 to 1, and just kidding, the domain, I meant to say domain, so the domain, just kidding, let's try that again. The domain values are from -1 to 1, I'm so silly, and the range values are from 0 to pi. Keep in mind that your x and y axes have changed. So this is 1, this is -1 over here, this would be -1/2, +1/2, and now going up I have pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. And then going down, I have negative pi over 2, negative pi, negative 3 pi over 2, and negative 2 pi. So again, I raced ahead, and I got this one all done for you so you could see what it looks like. And remembering back to when you were looking at principal values for tangent, it also, capital T, also went from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. Remember, it and sine are very similar. They hang out, they're buddies. So I would really be looking at this portion of the graph, which means over on the inverse, I'm looking at this portion of the graph because that's the match. And so again, now for the range for tangent of x, it goes from -infinity to +infinity. So now on the tangent inverse, of course those domain and ranges are switched. Whoops, I guess, what am I doing? Okay, y equals. And here's some notations on the unit circle just to kind of remind you. I would encourage you, maybe practice on the unit circle, get everything labeled. Remembering what I always teach students is algebra students take crack, or all students take calculus. So unrealistic. It's to remind me the signs and which ones are positive in each quadrant. Remembering that sine and consequently cosecant are positive in second quadrant. Tangent and consequently cotangent are both positive in third quadrant. Cosine and consequently secant are positive in fourth quadrant, and all of them are positive in first quadrant.